the reality of today, of life in a world full of sickness, aggression and environmental destruction. Critics say it's a cynical marketing ploy that fills its fans with negativity and is responsible for some cases of teenage suicide. Just how heavy is heavy metal? Reporter Melanie Reid looks at the music and the subculture that surrounds it.
A spot of moshing and a blast of Megadeth. This one-person party is the way Annalise Hall gets fired up to face the world. Like thousands of young New Zealanders, heavy metal's taken hold of Annalise. Other music offers nothing.
Mainstream music is quite a lot of it's sort of what I call bubblegum and candy floss. It's, you know, not real.
So what's bubblegum and candy floss music?
I don't know, music about the white picket fence and the station wagon, you know, love and marriage and let's go out and dance all night.
What's wrong with that?
That just wouldn't suit some people. That's not what they want to do.
Wouldn't suit metlers?
No, well, for a lot of people that's not a reality.
For metlers like Annalise, this is reality. Metal music is loud, so loud that some doctors believe it is literally mind-blowing. Most of the lyrics are incomprehensible, and the fans don't dance, they go to the pit and slam. When things really warm up, metlers go stage diving. Look around the audience at concerts like this one in Christchurch, and you'll find 90% of the fans are young, white and male.
It's a way of releasing your aggression. I mean, it's better to do it here, do it in a pit, well, basically what we call a pit, which is slamming and all that, than out on the street kicking in some poor defenceless guy's head.
Do you think that's where you'd be if you didn't have heavy metal?
I don't know whether it's where I'd be, but I'm sure it's where a few people would be, because it's like an outlet.
Do you mind me asking what happened to your head?
Yeah, I bashed it last Friday night dancing in a band. Stage diving, in fact.
Edward Dew and Glenn Stevenson run a headbanger show on student radio.
That was the Hard Ones with Suck and Swallow, the last track off their new album.
Although it's one of the biggest selling types of music in the world today, heavy metal and the more extreme death metal get almost no airplay on commercial radio. Brazilian group Sepultura have made the US top 40 album list. But the music doesn't appeal to those who do the family shopping. The biggest metal do?
I don't know, it's just...
Talks about death and digging up human bodies and suicidal tendencies.
It's more realistic. I mean, Suicidal Tendencies is the name of the band, but it's what they write about. It's more, I mean, bands have written about, oh, all sorts of shit like death and all that, but that's reality. Everyone's going to die sooner or later. And people do go out there and, I mean, people get off on Satanist lyrics because they go, oh, it's all evil, it's all, people shouldn't listen to it, but it's a subculture. People are out there practicing satanic stuff, you're practicing Satanists out there, and some of them are in bands, and that's what they choose to write about.
One of those bands is American death metal group Morbid Angel. Its albums Blessed Are the Sick and Altars of Madness are among the biggest sellers in New Zealand. But even some of Morbid Angel's darker songs pale beside the video clips of Swedish group Dismember. Dismember videos are so gross they've been banned in some countries.
I think at the moment you couldn't get anything heavier than death metal grindcore.
The daddy of heavy metal in Christchurch, avid fan and promoter Bruce Ray.
Like Morbid Angel, Carcass, that's pretty toxic stuff. That's really, you're totally engrossed in that. Yeah.
You say that as if you enjoy it.
We do.
Toxic stuff.
Yeah, and why not?
And why?
Well, yeah, same answer, why not? I think the average person, if they were honest with themselves, they do enjoy horror and splatter videos. And basically this is exactly the same thing, but it's put down on vinyl.
But it's this preoccupation with death, destruction and Satan that sees heavy metal come in for some heavy criticism. A number of youth workers in New Zealand have told us that they have to deal with the fallout of heavy metal. Teenage kids that don't understand what's fact and what's fiction. Kids who they claim are close to being possessed by the message of heavy metal.
There's a young 16-year-old guy I saw just a few weeks ago who'd been really involved in thrash metal and heavy metal music, and he had actually written a contract to Satan in his own blood. He'd also been involved in mutilating his own body.
Pastor Murray Watkinson of the Celebration Centre in Christchurch.
A young girl I dealt with for a period of time, over a period of months. She'd had a rough background, been very involved in heavy metal music, and she was involved in self-mutilation, cutting her face, her arms, her legs with razor blades, and just a very distressed, disturbed young girl.
But how much of this is due to heavy metal and how much is due to other factors?
There's a consistent factor of heavy metal music and heavy rock music with a lot of the young people I deal with, attempted suicides and things like this.
A lot of heavy metal fans say the lyrics shouldn't be taken seriously, they're just a gimmick.
Yeah, but I think they are taken seriously by the young people when we have young people like several years ago in Christchurch jumping off the cliffs in the Port Hills committing suicide, and they're taking it seriously.
The most sensational suicide that's been blamed on...
That is after the event, that is after they've lost half their mind.
I come to visit this place.
Versus the people who think it's dangerous. The ultimate question is always the same. Should heavy metal be banned because it's nasty and might influence some teenagers?
What about businesses? A man starts up a business, it fails, jumps off a building and kills himself. I mean, do we stop everyone having businesses?
What you say a bit about businesses may be perfectly true, but that doesn't get you.
It's not a cause. It might be a catalyst of a suicide in some cases. It isn't.
If you put a lab rat strapped down in front of some death metal for 48 hours, it probably will kill itself. If you put any of us strapped down in front of a chair in front of Macbeth for 48 hours, or some of Shakespeare's wackier works, you'd get a similar response. You know, it's the problem's there. It's not necessarily death metal that'll put it off. Shakespeare would do the job just as well.
It's doubtful, though, that Shakespeare inspired the formation of a subculture like this. Its followers ascribe to a strict code of long hair, black clothes and metal insignia.
Aside from mainly boys between about the age of 15 and 22, no one else likes it. So it's like joining an exclusive club But when you go into a heavy metal shop, or indeed you look at a heavy metal audience, you've got to remember too, it's a capitalist society that we live in, that music is one part of the marketing, but overwhelmingly the number of T-shirts, the paraphernalia, the caps, the badges, all that kind of stuff. There's no other music form that in a way music is such a minor part of, that it's actually a tribe that young males all around the world join. It's joining something. It's joining something that spans the world.
Isn't this music extremely sexist?
Oh, definitely. It's very sexist, very much a male domain, but, you know, I don't think...
Why is it sexist?
Perhaps because it is aggressive music and...
Sexist?
Perhaps because it is aggressive music and it's pretty full on, and a lot of women still have those traditional values of the white wedding and the station wagon and the whole bit.
Do you think perhaps heavy metal's always going to be a boys' club?
Not if I've got anything to do with it. There are a lot of guys out there who think, you know, how dare a chick get up there and sing metal, but I figure, you know, it's what I'm into, it's what I want to do, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to give it hell. I mean, these are troubled times. You can't tell me that, you know, everything is peace, love and happiness, and that the white picket fence dream is a reality for most people out there.
She was involved in self-mutilation, cutting her face, her arms, her legs with razor blades.
Like Morbid Angel, Carcass, that's pretty toxic stuff.